Yo, what's going on, man?
Hello, you can hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Loud and clear, good,
Oh
perfect.
yeah, I got you, man. How you doing?
Just finished. I did um, Onyxia, Black Lair, Molten Core, Zoo Group, and this.
So you
But the worst thing is that tomorrow I'm doing the same.
so basically you're just doing the whole game 2 days in a row.
Yeah, 2 days in a row. I mean, Friday I did everything except Molten Core. Wednesday, everything. It's just non-stop, man.
Oh yeah, it gets to be a lot after
Corona
a while.
schedule. It's Corona schedule, man.
Yeah, awesome, man. Cool. Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time and talking to me, man. Like I said, I just kind of figured I'd since I have this opportunity, ask you some questions. Yeah, I looked into it. And I'm sorry to hear about what happened with you and Apes. I didn't really keep up with that until
It's
today. So yeah, man, I'm sorry that that happened, and hopefully everything's good and you guys all can.
yeah, it's whatever. Like kinda, it happened like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. So it's like no, 2 weeks ago maybe.
Gotcha.
Basically, right before Slow Group came out, I think. Like the day before Slow Group came out. I don't know when it was.
Yeah, it's funny because like I typed these questions up, like about like a month or so ago, and then I had kind of been busy myself here recently, and then whenever you said that today, I went back and looked, kind of watched your streams, and I saw the day that it happened. I'm like, oh man, yeah, that's crazy that it just happened
Yeah,
right
it's
then,
no
man.
problem though.
Yeah,
It's whatever. Listen, like
definitely.
I'm already over that. Just
Exactly.
basically, I mean, it was a kick, but it was it was like from both sides. I just didn't want to be.
Yeah. Sometimes, I
I
mean,
don't know. Just couldn't be fully myself in there. I had to contain
exactly.
myself a lot.
Personalities kind of clash, right? So it's sometimes that just
Yeah.
doesn't work. But cool, man. Good to hear you're doing well, and hopefully, I'm excited to like see where you go and what big things you do. Awesome.
For now, I'm just doing. I just doubled my bucks, or tripled my bucks. I mean, doubled, I guess, doubled because back then I was doing the double as normal. Now I'm doing 4 times as much normal.
Jeez, jeez, man. Cool. Well, I'll go and get started with some of these questions if that's cool with you. Just kind of some things that
Yeah, yeah, sure,
you
go
might have
ahead.
knowledge of or maybe plans of in the future, like starting off with if Burning Crusade does get released, what are your plans for Burning Crusade?
Do you want me to respond as in me or as in apes, by the way?
As
Because
in
I mean, I was
you
in
right
apes
now.
until a couple of weeks ago. I've been
Yeah.
with them
I,
for a
I,
while. I know the plans. You know what I mean?
as yourself right now, and then I'll follow this question up with just what apes will be doing, since I had kind of
Yeah.
asked that question previously.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, for me, yeah, I wanna play TDC, but I don't really have any experience from any private server or anything. So I will be a noob basically, except for like maybe on PvP.
Yeah.
I will have like some knowledge, but on PvE I will suck. That's for sure. I need to get into a private server before going to TDC because I'm gonna get owned, man.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I love raid leading, right? So if I go in there, I need to know everything before going so I can raid lead from the start.
Exactly. So
That's
you
the
can do it,
plan.
successfully. I feel that.
Yeah,
That's kind
because
of
I know that when I'm raid leading stuff, it's gonna go good no matter what. So I just don't give up until it's done.
yeah.
You know?
Exactly. And it's funny that you say that because that's like how I was coming into classic WoW. Like I've played WoW for like 15 years, and I actually started and kind of went like was a little bit more hardcore during Burning Crusade. So like the roles were kind of reversed. It's funny. I'm one of the like on Ironforge.pro. I don't know if you keep up with like gear score and stuff. I'm one of the more
Mm.
geared tanks on my server, but I'm a noob and I chose the Oni trinket. So I have a Thunder Fury and all this stuff, but I'm a noob at Classic WoW, so I didn't know. I'm dumb and I chose the Oni trinket. So it's kind of
It
it's
doesn't matter though.
yeah. I mean, at the end
You,
of the day, it is what it is. It's just funny how
yeah.
like literally just depending on what content is out, some people are just experts on, and some people are well, hey, I know nothing, teach me, right? But Cool, man. With that being said, what about Apes? Do you know what Apes will be doing whenever Burning
Yeah,
Crusade comes out?
I'm pretty sure Apes was going to continue as well. They planned, at least from what I know, we were gonna make like six straight groups or something like that. Like because right now we have two main raids and like two alt raids, right?
Hmm.
Alt slash social. I guess up to four raids. It's gonna be six raids in DVC, six, seven maybe.
Man,
You need to downscale right from 40 to 25.
yeah,
So yeah,
that's
and
the fun part.
lot of people rolling shamans.
Oh yeah.
I think it's like five per raid or four per raid, something like that. Something fucking
Yeah.
crazy, man.
See, I'm actually like I main Horde, which is I've always mained Alliance up until Classic WoW. So having shamans and no paladins has been kind of a shock. But like, I'm looking forward to Burning Crusade because then I finally get paladins. So it's kind of it's I'm pretty excited for that. And yeah, shamans are going to be huge on Alliance side. I remember that whenever I was playing Burning Crusade way back in the day. That's how it was then as well. What about like speaking of warrior stuff, the Fight Club Discord. Do you keep up with Fight Club Discord at all?
Not much, not really. Like, I don't know. I'm not very fan of like theory craft. I mean, I know people love that, but
Mhm.
I'm not like fan of theory crafting at all. I just play my own game, man. Like,
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
until I get owned. If I get owned, like, let's say I just, I'm. It's not like I'm bragging about it, but yeah, I'm always performing right in raids
Mhm.
and performing with like it's just the way I feel playing the game. I want to play the game and
Yeah,
just play to the max, right? So
you
I
feel your way
always
through it instead
perform
of
like
just theory
yeah.
crafting your way.
I get my wall buffs and shit to the raids, and I just I always go for number one, and I usually get it. But if I don't get it, then I look into it, right? And if he's the guy that got above me, he's got a strategy or he's using like theory crafting or whatever, then I might have to copy because I know like mechanically I need to be the number one at
Yeah,
least. And if I'm mechanically the number one and then the theory crafting stuff behind, then I can just either copy it or learn from it and then back to number one again.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely, man. I agree with that. It's sometimes it's better just to you know enjoy yourself, have fun, and if you're pushing the numbers that you need to be, why worry about the rest? Cool,
That
man.
I would never go theory craft myself alone or like
Yeah,
go into those. I mean, I'm in that Discord, but I'm not
yeah, not
doing
like
anything in there.
keeping up with it or anything.
I'm leeching. I'm leeching. I'm actually leeching.
That's fair enough. Uh, Speaking of theory crafting and other in-game kind of accessories, what about add-ons? Kind of weak auras that you use, anything like that? Like, what are some add-ons or weak auras that you just can't live without? Like, classic WoW wouldn't be the same without them.
I mean, I have all of them in my Discord. I mean, I don't know if you want to include that
Oh yeah,
in
yeah.
whatever you're
I can throw that in the description as well for my guildies.
like. There's all the Wikaros, macros, and add-ons I have are in my Discord, or most of them at least. The ones I cannot live without is Leatrix Plus. That's
It's a good one.
important. Wikaros, of course.
Absolutely.
Um, I don't know. Tank announcements, if you're playing tank,
Yeah,
but that's a weak order for like if you taunt resist, you need that your taunt resist or like mock and blow fails or yeah.
exactly. Tanks gotta
Or
gotta
when
communicate with each other.
you're walling or where you're like last standing, whatever. It's very very important to communicate that.
Yep.
What else? I mean, threat meters by default, you
Oh
need
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I mean, you
absolutely.
can play without it, but it's way harder if somebody likes to go ham.
Yeah, like I feel like an experienced player can kind of like feel threat to a certain degree, but even still, it's always better just to have that
Yeah,
backup or that
and like
check.
especially as a tank, right? When you got enough threat, you know that you can just drop your dual wield and just go for a shield
Yeah,
and just play with shield and let
yep, just
the
play it
rate
safe.
just more stable. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Like there's a lot of common mistake is like I don't know fights like Krabagus. Tank is like literally 50k threat ahead, which 50k is a lot of
Yeah, that's
lot
a
of
massive
difference.
threat lead.
and tank is 50k ahead of the DPS, and he's still dual wielding. And like, there's no reason to dual wield in there. Like boss is like 20%, he's enraged, he's hitting double damage.
Yep.
Like, why do you dual
Yeah,
wielding?
you're
Like,
risking more, and it's funny that you say that because I literally made this mistake on Chromagus like 2 weeks ago. He was like 40%, and I was way ahead on threat. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna dual wield, guys. As soon as I threw on my like stopped wearing my shield, I died. he
yeah,
he just one shot me. I'm like, oh my goodness, and it was wipe just because of me making the mistake of, being overconfident, I guess, and just not playing it safe. I agree. I think a lot of Fury Prot tanks kind of have that issue, especially newer Fury Prot tanks, such as myself. You just
yeah.
you definitely have to get a feel for it. So moving on with that, do you use any kind of like sims to calculate DPS or kind of like see how gear is going to affect you for future patches or anything, or is it kind of like you said earlier, just kind of all
I
feeling it
just
out?
let the game play. It's yeah, I just play the game. I don't
Awesome.
really. I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I'm not. I just think it's a waste of time.
Yeah, and I can definitely agree with that to a certain extent. Like sometimes it's
Like
just too much,
I rather sorry. I rather like break down a fight into global cooldowns
Mhm.
than theoretical.
Yeah,
Like I just can't be asked like how much DPS is this, how much DPS is that. At the end of the day, your DPS equals to staying alive,
yep,
and that's the main thing. Staying alive with war buffs. If you die with war buffs, good luck.
yep. I 100% agree with that. I'm gonna have some. I'm excited to share that with some DPS in my guild just to have them hear that and just reassure them that hey, dude, as long as you're staying alive, that's the most important part. Oh man. So with apes, whenever you guys were gearing so many warriors, how did you guys kind of prio that? Was it required to like push for rank in apes for the rank 13 gear, or how exactly
I
did you guys handle that?
mean, the decision is quite simple, right? If you rank, you get weapon from ranking, you get gear from ranking. If you don't rank, you get. I mean, the non-rankers get priority on the non-ranker gear, and the rankers get priority on the ranker.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
during the ranking process, um, we would give like I mean, depending, right? Because at the start it's the most start, right? But once we were like rank 10 plus, like the
Hmm.
tier gear would no longer go to Midas, for example, the main tank, or like stuff like that. Like, tier gear would go to like people that's not ranking. Weapons would go to people that's not ranking,
Yep, people that
unless
aren't
it's a
going to get those
fucking
PvP
sorry
upgrades.
for saying sorry for swearing
No,
unless it's a for example a BRE, right? That would be like a 200 weapon.
yep,
That's for a ranker. Maybe a beast, no, beast like that would go for a non-ranker, for example. Beast is a pure PvE weapon. Especially like people say play Hemo rogue, but really you wanna play daggers for PvP. So like for example, again, Biscuit is a PvP weapon, PvE weapon, and the other one like Perdition's Blade is a PvP weapon started prior to rankers. And like let's say you were close to like finishing your rank, like you wouldn't even be eligible for a weapon. You would just have to go with what you have.
yep. You just have to keep on pushing and just get your rank gear and be happy with that. That makes sense. I think that's a good way of doing it. So whenever you were like, let's say, for the opening of BWL, obviously you guys like got like a 7 minute delay start, so that kind of sucked. But whenever you're going in and like prepping for those kinds of runs or like world first pushes, what are some of the things that like you yourself kind of focus on or do to get ready for those pushes?
Oh, I mean, we've all done Blackwing Lair before in private servers and shit. We didn't like compared to other guilds. We didn't really. I mean, we don't PTR, right, in Apes. So yeah, that's why I joined mainly, right, this guild, because it's like full of good players, and like we don't really like the preparation. It's in ourselves. It's not in going to watch a video or like practicing some test realm or whatever, right? Like just we are already ready because we already have the experience from back in the day,
Yep.
and we just have it here, right? And then yeah, rest like you just follow Mitos.
Yeah, that
That's
makes
it.
sense. Kind of just at that point, just almost like any other day of rating of current content, right? You just go with the flow. That makes sense after doing it
Yeah.
so many times. So whenever like I don't know if you take the time to look at other parses or even just Warcraft logs in general, but if you have, what are some of the biggest mistakes that you see in other warrior parses compared to yours that kind of limits their damage output or just their successfulness overall?
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't look at the top parts on the Warriors because the number ones, it's like the top parts on healing. It makes no sense. I'm sorry
Yeah.
if I offend anybody with this, but it just makes no sense. It's not contributing towards the raid success. It's contributing to your personal success, basically. Which means, yeah, why does that mean? I mean, why do I say that? Um, because number one thing, right? For example, on healing, number one punch on healing means you're just cheesing the heals, like healing pets, healing melees when there's a damage instead of healing a tank, etc., etc., etc. You're just trying to heal when there's no competition, right?
Yep, that is
Same
true.
thing is with warriors. Warriors are meant to first thing, even if you're a DPS warrior, apply five sunders. Okay, like if all the warriors get that in mentality, they apply one sunder each, job is done,
Yeah.
right? Like technically, installing five sanders is a must. For rate efficiency, yes, you're gonna get less DPS, but again, there's like couple guilds that have their like special player X. I'm not gonna mention names, but if you go to the Warcraft logs, you can actually read the names if you want to. I don't gonna point fingers at anybody, but again, the top one, two, three guys, four or five guys, I don't know. I'm not watching, every day, but the top guys are basically guys that don't sunder armor. They just
Yep.
bloodthirst,
They're focused
open
on just the parses, right? Like
yeah.
that's something that I always have
And
like
they
a problem
have they
with
have the
parses.
whole raid playing for them. Like I
Yep.
don't know, they have a huntering group, they have shamaning group, they have sometimes two shamans in the group.
Yep.
They have what's the name? The dedicated battle shot warrior in the group with like three tier two pieces and like improved battle shout, and the guy cannot even doesn't even need to go for improved battle shots, so he can spec into improved cleaves, so he can do like fucking 60 more damage in the cleaves, right? So yeah, it just keeps adding, and like yeah, if you have the whole raid playing for you, you know, dedicated healer for when he pulls aggro, etc., etc. If you have the whole raid playing for you, you can parse. Sure, it's like rotating PIs on a mage.
Yeah.
Is it efficient? Probably not.
But does it parse good? Yes. And yeah, I agree with that. Like whenever you have a whole raid team pushing one person's parse, of course they're gonna parse high. So yeah, that's a good mentality to have, I think.
So
So
yeah, that's sorry. That's the number one mistake is like not using Sunder for warriors, and number two mistake is being a pussy when you are raiding and somebody pulls aggro. If that guy is not a melee guy, or that guy is not a plate geared warrior guy, you need to taunt. You need to put a shield and taunt. That's the number one, like probably more important than Sundering is make sure that nobody's dying
mhm,
and like just sacrifice yourself instead
yeah,
because that's your main role. You play warrior. You're not playing druid. You're not playing rogue. If you wanna, you wanna run away when you pull aggro. That's for like, that's for rogues. That's for mages. That's for hunters. Whatever. Right?
exactly. Well, like
Warrior, you pull aggro. You need to put a shield on.
yeah,
Or if somebody pulls aggro, you taunt and put a shield on.
I
And,
would say you might have
nobody
to like
they die.
sacrifice some of your own personal DPS for this fight just to make
Yeah.
for the betterment of the raid. That's a good way to look at it.
I don't know, like I don't know who to put an example on, but let's just say fire mob fight or like everyone rock these dragons that have wing buffet. Like let's say some wing buffet gets fucked up and boss turns on the raid. The only way to prevent that is by the guy that pulls aggro turning the guy or by a warrior taunt, right?
Mhm.
That's like the perfect example of saving stuff,
Yeah,
and that's why like rather you die after taunting to whatever, right? Than killing the whole raid on a
yeah,
breath.
exactly. Rather sacrifice my DPS for this fight than 20 other people's DPS, right? So
Yeah,
cool, man.
and not only their DPS, but their wall buffs, their time, their
Yep.
etc. etc. Because after all, wall buffs equal times. Like
Yeah.
if you had wall buffs into a raid, means like you've been like there like at least 1 hour, 1 hour and a half.
Yep.
If you're sniping everything instantly with a summoning train, etc., etc., maybe it's 15 minutes. That's
Yeah.
for sure, right? But you're paying for that, etc.
Yeah,
But
like
if you're not sniping that and you're doing it with a team, you maybe are 1 hour, 1 hour and a half at least.
exactly. It's like always disappointing whenever you lose your world bus, right? So if you can just sacrifice yours to save 20 other people that same kind of upset, it just makes
Plus,
sense.
that's what every literally every single good leader I know. That's the number one thing they are looking for. Number one, I mean, actually, maybe yeah. Number one, number two thing might be geared players with brain, right? But yeah, that's very hard to happen as well,
Yeah.
or hard to find. But number one thing any good leader or any guild is looking for is this kind of players, warriors that are capable of like, you know, putting a shield on and
Yeah.
taunting stuff without
Uh,
being asked for.
of playing for the team instead of themselves all the time, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
that's
Playing like
important.
that, you're gonna get your doors open like
Yeah,
to anywhere you want.
exactly.
I mean, as long as you do it good, right? Like if you randomly taunt in leather gear and you die in one global, it's like, you know,
Yeah, then you're just being dumb, right? Like there's no need for
yeah.
that. Cool, man. And then as far as like whenever you were in Apes, what was like kind of the general mood of the guild, or even just uh, guilds that you've been in general? Like, have you been in guilds that kind of have a lot of community-driven stuff where people are just talking a lot and everyone's getting along, or is it more just hey we're focused and um, kind of more so talking just during raids that kind of thing, and then going about
I mean,
separate
there's
ways?
two different things, right? In apes, there's like when Midas is here and when Midas is not here. He's like the Caesar of the guild. He's like the emperor of the guild. He's when the emperor is here, you behave differently. When
Yeah.
he's not there, you know,
Yeah, that makes sense. Just like honestly, any kind
you
of
can go.
environment, like whenever someone of uh, I say importance, like someone of power, I guess I could say, like you just act differently because of that. So that makes sense. Cool,
So
man.
yeah.
And then I mean, this is a question that I had written originally before you had left Apes, but um, has streaming classic WoW affected obviously kind of the guild or just you in positive or negative ways, and what ways are those?
Well, I mean, I was streaming before, so I mean, I don't know. I guess it make me take more care about streaming somehow, right? Like, during the raids, for example, we cannot stream voice, we cannot stream, certain things, certain types of raids. Like, I don't know, there's a wall boss we can stream in. I don't know, we're going to the raid, we cannot stream it. We are wall buffing, you cannot stream it. Like, you're super limited when it comes to streaming. Like, even myself now, when I'm outside of Apes, like, I cannot stream myself leveling, like,
Yeah.
literally yesterday I tried that. I streamed I'm leveling a Horde Warrior on the same server, so I guess it's like it's a call for me to let in count as well. But literally, like I streamed one to basically 1 to 30 something. Basically, I got boosted, etc. Right, so I wasn't really leaving
Yeah.
the neutral area. But the second I left to PvP area and I was streaming it, I got camped.
Oh
Like
no.
literally got camped for 1 hour, 1 hour and a half,
Jeez. Yeah.
non-stop.
That's no fun, and that
And I'm
actually.
not sorry, I'm not even famous. Like I'm literally I don't know how much average viewers I have, but around like 70, something like that. I'm not famous. I'm just, I guess relevant to some extent, but not famous.
Sure. And that kind of leads me to another kind of one-off question of server types. Now, you've always been on a PvP server, right? What are your opinions on kind of PvE versus PvP servers?
Mm, I don't really like the PvE servers. I don't know, man. I just think I don't know how to say. They just cut half of the game down for no reason.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a reasonable way to look at it. It's just you take one giant aspect of the game and you,
Yeah.
you remove it. It's because I mean, like I know that I play on a PVE server currently, and it's if
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in a BG, I'm not PvPing at all. And like we thankfully we have a pretty good server community, so we have events where we like world PvP, and we're starting to push those more and more. But if it wasn't for that fact, it would literally just be only PvP and BGs, and that does kind of get old
Like
after a while.
I don't know, like for example, world bosses in a PvE server. It's like whoever tags it first
Yep.
gets it.
Yeah,
It,
it's
it,
funny that you
it
say
ends
that.
there. It literally ends there. Ends there.
Yep.
It,
We've killed over 70 world bosses, my guild alone, just because we're on a PvE server. If we were on a PvP server, I mean, it wouldn't be possible, right? But we literally have killed over 70 world bosses, and we have already 5 dragons that we've killed. They're
I
green
mean,
dragons,
don't
just
don't
because
don't
we're on
get
a
me
PvE
wrong
server.
though. Not only because of that. Also, you need to be first. You know, be logged out at the spot or like summoning people fast, etc.,
Yeah,
etc.
definitely. There's definitely like a race to it, but it really just does come down to whoever pulled it first, and then if they wipe or not. That's pretty much it. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, that's I know that's like the only reason we've been able to get so many is because we're kind of a hardcore guild for this server at least, and we are kind of the only ones out there farming on the world bosses, so it's kind of crazy. But yeah, man, I just kind of wanted to get your opinion on server types. But
Yeah, I mean, that's the number one thing, and then the PvE server. I mean, I don't wanna talk shit to anybody, but usually the world first and the speedrunners, etc., they get all PvP servers because again, like there's people that just plays the full aspect of the game, and by default, it's just gonna be people more I don't know, knowledgeable or
yep,
like prepared or ready. Because even if it's PvE, like let's say inside the dungeon, inside the raid, you need to react, right? Like
yep,
it's not the
reaction
same.
speed, knowing how to
People,
react, it's important.
yeah, people in PvE servers. I'm not gonna mention anybody, not gonna flame or whatever, but it's the classic case of like fire on the ground, human male priest standing on it, just chilling, just healing, taking damage for no reason, not moving at all because he can just out heal the damage and he just focus on the Parse.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
It's not
that's
efficient.
my opinion on PvE servers.
Yeah, that's fair enough, man. And then uh, what are some of the ways apes and other cutting edge guilds kind of stay on top, like comparatively to just your regular run of the mill guild? Um,
Well, being active, that's the number one thing. Like being a lot of activity.
yeah, makes sense.
Like being super active, and then second, ranking. Like ranking increases a lot the average guild gear. Like again, you're getting weapons, you're getting gear. Like it's a lot of items that you don't need from dungeons. So it not only increases the average guild gear, it also makes recruiting easier because like everybody wants to join a guild with rank 14s,
Yeah,
and everybody knows that if there's a rank 14, you might get more chances on like chromatic sword or there's whatever, right? A close rook or like, any of those cool items that like, I don't know, or elixir weapons, a Viscag or like a Deathbringer, stuff like that. For you, it will be not free, but semi-free.
yeah,
But
exactly.
then again, that's a double edge about the ranking, right? Like a ranked guy is gonna take, he's not gonna take weapons, he's not gonna take gear outside, the rank 13. But then he's probably gonna be have more chances on like a Drake, what's the name? Drake Fang
Oh,
Talisman, DFT,
yeah, yep,
or
DFT.
like like on certain best in slot items,
Yep.
rankers, people that rank to 14, it's gonna have more priority. And yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and in my opinion, that makes the most sense because whenever you have a person with all rank 14 gear, um, it, they only need certain pieces, so it kind of makes sense to get those pieces to those people, right?
Yeah, but it's not easy to make the decision though.
Yeah.
Never easy.
Nope. Loot's never an easy discussion. And then building on top of that question, how can smaller guilds kind of seek to replicate that? I mean, obviously one of the things you pushed was just activity, but if you were to suggest any kind of or have any kind of advice for a smaller guild to kind of just push themselves and better themselves, what kind of advice would you give?
Well, make events in the guild. They don't need to be forced events played by the game, right? You can just make your own event. Let's just say, oh, we want to kill each other at the stand of an arena, or like make a tournament, or make something funny. Like the guild, 99% of a guild, or okay, not 99, but maybe 90 is the leadership.
Yeah,
Like
that makes sense.
the players, sure, they play a lot of it, right? Like they give it some sort of personality to the guild. But the main thing is the leadership on a guild. Like if the leadership can again organize some events, or make and like go for world bosses, or say, oh, we're gonna let's make a pre-made Warzone, for example, right? Small guild can at least make 10 people to go Warzone.
Yeah,
Or like, I don't know, dude, let's fucking
do something,
you
right?
know
Just any
yeah,
kind of community building type activities, right?
let's
I think
uh,
that's a good
let's
way to put
let's
it.
level alts together.
Yeah,
Level professions together. Let's farm together. Let's even let's just like fuck with this guy together.
yeah,
Doesn't even matter. Let's
exactly.
go fuck with this horde guild, with this alliance guild.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what makes especially if you put banter in the middle, people is gonna be more you know easily inclinated
Yeah,
to I don't know if the words are correct.
yeah. I think that
Participate in
makes
guild
sense.
activities.
Exactly. The more that you interact with each other, just the better things are going to be in the long run as far as getting along with
Yeah.
each other, right? I think that's kind of a good way of putting that. And then kind of covered this a little bit earlier, but what have you been up to since you left Apes?
Well, right now I'm running 3 pucks that do Black Moonlight and Molten Core.
Busy,
All
busy.
of them are like sub 2 hour Black Moonlars, averaging like 1 hour 10 minutes.
Awesome.
So it's quite good.
Yeah.
I tank one of them. I play Hunter in the other, and yeah, then on the last one I either play Paladin or Mage depending on the week. And then I am in a guild as well, Hesoya, which is like, I guess it's a cool guild. It's like a PvP guild. They're cool guys. I know them since private service as well. So
Very nice.
I'm chilling basically. I'm just trying to get full vesting of gear on my warrior. I still need a EFT. Let's see when I get that. And then yeah, also like the molten cores, they are fast as fuck as well. They like the thing is like I just know I'm like some sort of becoming a brand for pugs. Like
Yeah.
everybody is like, if
Making a name for
they
yourself.
want to join a pug in my server, it's like go with me or suffer,
Yeah.
because they know they're gonna suffer with like bad trade leaders, or and like people that's new to my pub. Every time after raid, they just say, "Oh my god, man! Like, there's no color. There's literally no color between like certain raid leaders and you." And I don't consider myself the best raid leader or whatever, right? I consider myself an okay raid leader.
Sure.
Yeah, and just trying to get better at the game every time. I don't
Definitely.
think playing in a hardcore guild makes me better. Yeah, I already played in hardcore guilds for like months,
Yeah.
years. Sorry, not months, years. And yeah, I was in progress back in the day. Like you know, basically when progress became progress, I was there. And we
Okay.
made it big. And
Wow.
yeah, I don't know,
Didn't
like
know that.
Salad Bakers, when Salad Bakers was doing all those speedruns on private servers, I was in there, like I was in there tanking, I was in there like pulling, etc., etc.
That's awesome.
And like, and with Apes, I mean, I've been in there since Classic, so that's, I've been in all the relevant stuff somehow. Like since I've been on all the server first, always, like on private server, we didn't call it world first, we call it server first, which I mean it still counts, like it
Yeah,
doesn't count
absolutely.
towards now because private servers don't count towards classic. But coincidence that every single world first has been achieved by private server guilds or private server players.
Yeah,
Every
right.
single speedrun taken by private server guilds, private server players. Every single rank 14 guy that has come into the first generations, private server guild, private server player, like it's and so on. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely, and that's something that I
And
noticed like early on in Classic because I mean, like I said, I came from retail, so I was I remember Methods Race to World first. I'm like, oh yeah, that'll be fun to watch, and all of a sudden, Apes has cleared MC 6 days after Classic came out, and that just
yeah,
blew my mind because like I said, for Classic,
like
I was kind of a noob, so
it,
it's crazy.
the highest level group in method um was starting Sulfur Hack when we killed Ragnar.
Yeah. It's crazy like how much of a difference that made. And then just one last question, man. This kind of goes on top of earlier what we were talking about with guilds, but if you could just give any piece of advice in general to someone looking to push and improve themselves as as an individual or as a guild, what would it be?
Watch good players. That's the number one thing. Watch good players and try to learn from them.
Mhm.
Because like again, like anything in this world can be learned by just playing the monkey, right? Playing the monkey, I mean copying the guy and then adapting it to your own style. Like
Yeah,
if you see somebody has success, doesn't matter in what topic. It can be in the game or it can be in real life. Just copy what they do and adapt it to your style whenever you feel confident with it,
yeah, that
and
makes
you're
sense.
gonna you're gonna succeed
Yeah,
hundred
that's
percent.
a good way to just look at it in general. It's a life policy right
And
there.
also don't not only copy what they do and adapt it, but just try to improve it, and then you're gonna be better than the guy you copied.
Yeah,
And that's why we have like spaceships, for example.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
literally the reason why we have spaceships.
Yeah. Cool, man. Awesome. Well, hey, man, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And if you ever get bored, come say hi to us on Windseeker. And yeah, man, thank you.